Hello everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about, the potential of placing cancer warning labels on alcohol. Hopefully, this may motivate people to drink less, a study says, and I'll put a link to this article in the description for the video. Would you be more likely to cut back on drinking if you knew that alcohol raises the risk of cancer? A new study that tested updated designs for alcohol warning labels with consumers suggests the answer is yes. The current alcohol warning labels have been in place since 1989, and they warn of the risks of drinking during pregnancy or while driving or operating heavy machinery. They also include a vague notice that alcohol, quote, may cause health problems. But research suggests that people tend to tune out these labels, and said Anna Grumman, who's an assistant professor at the Stanford University School of Medicine. And she says the labels haven't kept mounting evidence about serious health harms linked to drinking. For example, we've known for many years that alcohol contributes to cancer, but most Americans aren't even aware of that, Grumman says. Alcohol is the third leading preventable cause of cancer behind tobacco and obesity. In a statement, Amanda Berger, Senior Vice President for Science and Research at the Distilled Spirits Council, a major alcohol industry trade group, said, the United States' current health warnings has informed consumers for decades about health risks broadly. It is the federal government's role to determine changes to the warning statements based on the entire body of scientific research, and the industry is committed to following all laws and regulations that govern our labeling. Okay, I'll let you read this for yourself. You get where I'm going with this. Should we should we update the warning labels on alcohol? What do you think? I think from my perspective, by the time a family calls us, I don't think any amount of warning labels is going to change anything. Once someone has a serious, substance use disorder, alcohol use disorder, they're way past the point of a warning label doing anything. They're basically drinking themselves to death, and the family calls us and says, what do we do? Well, as I've said in other videos, the options are this. One, do nothing. And what do you think's going to happen? They'll probably end up dead. And I'm not one to sugarcoat these things, so yeah, they could potentially end up dead. Number two, you do nothing, and at some point, in all likelihood, the state will grab them. Either they'll do something silly, drive drunk, harm somebody and end up getting arrested. That's the state taking them through the criminal justice system. Or they could potentially, here in Florida, they could even get Marchman acted. Yeah, the state can Marchman act you. You get taken to a couple of different hospitals up here in Florida, certainly in Central Florida. You end up in the ER and you're drunk or high or whatever, they'll Marchman act you. Okay, and that's the state stepping in. Or, if it causes some type of mental health issue, the state can step in through the Baker Act process too. So the state can step in a couple of ways. The other way to deal with it is, somebody in the family makes the decision because your loved one can't do it. They can't stop drinking. They're probably in denial, right? If you've even got them to go to treatment, I'm willing to bet they didn't stay nearly long enough. And I've talked in other videos about what a treatment protocol looks like, but it's typically a year-long journey. Not that you need to hire us for a year, but you're going to need to, this is a year-long journey to get somebody in recovery and keep them there long enough so you don't have to keep going back and back and back to the courts to get this thing finally to stick, right? So alcohol's a problem, and somebody in the family is going to need to make the decision, the commitment to save this person, or, something tragic might happen, or the state steps in which case, you're pretty much out of the game anyway. So that's how it works. But alcohol's a problem. But by the time they get to us, the warning label isn't going to make a difference. But still, I thought it was an interesting article. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. What a warning label that says, may or may not cause cancer, would that deter you? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think about that? Some folks have been upset because they say that every time I talk about alcohol or kratom or marijuana, I'm trying to, impose my beliefs on their freedoms. Listen, you could sit at home. It's up to you. You could sit at home. You can get high. You can be drunk, every day. Not my business. Okay. But when it starts to affect the family, because when someone in the family is sick and it's a disease, yeah, that's when I get the phone call, right? Because it's slowly destroying the family, and your loved ones are around you looking at like this behavior and saying, what can I do? Well, you've got to make the decision to save them. And that's where we come in. So if you've got a loved one who's dealing with an alcohol use disorder or any behavioral health issue, mental health, drug use, whatever it happens to be, and you're tired of being tired, or sick and tired of being sick and tired, we'd like to talk to you. Let's talk about what options may or may not be available, both legal and non-legal, and maybe a combination of both. So please reach out to us. If there's an issue that's going on in your family and I've not made a video about it, let me know. I will make you a video, post in the comments, because if it's affecting your family, I'm sure it's affecting somebody else's. And I make these videos every day so you can get the information that you really need based on our experience of handling, thousands of these cases. If you could, I would appreciate a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. It helps these videos get seen by more families, which means we can help more people, save more people. So please, it helps. And if you want more of this content that I make for you every day, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.